Hi guys, School here, and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video, but this one is a little bit special. In front of me is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Just a few hours ago, I got hold of the final release build of Microsoft Flight Simulator. The embargo was just lifted, and I can finally show you this thing of absolute beauty. Unfortunately, there are no liveries available still in the final build I have, so we're going to have to go with this build, but it looks, well, it looks splendid, doesn't it? It looks absolutely fantastic. The detail on this thing is so good. Does it have wing flex? Oh, it has wing flex, all right. We'll demo that later when we get up in the air. This is going to be a very quick flight because I really have only had this thing a few hours. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start it cold and dark. We're in the Côte d'Azur in Nice, LFMN, Lima Foxtrot Mike November. And we're going to take off a runway 04 right. We're going to basically climb out and do a circuit, if you like, at 4,000 feet. And then come in and try and shoot the ILS 4 right approach. So without further ado, let's jump inside and get this thing started. Okay, let's get the APU started up and then we'll have a quick look around the cockpit. So we'll go up here, we'll put the battery on. And we'll start the APU. Let's get that going. What I want to do is allow you to listen to the sounds of the engines and stuff, because I know the audio is important. So I'll just shut up for a second and let you listen to this. There you go. It sounds a bit like my Dyson vacuum cleaner. Anyway, so the APU is available. So if we pop up here, we should be able to put on the APU generators. And we should have a bit of ventilation. And you can hear what the ambient noises are like. So looking around the cockpit, as you can see, well, it looks like a Dreamliner, all right. It's all the high glossy touchscreen stuff. Beautiful detailing. As you might expect, there are many things that you can see that are completely in-op and many things that are operative. One of the major things that's not on, I can see, is the tablet on the left, which is obviously used to calculate speeds and that kind of thing. None of this is operable by the look of it. This is a default aircraft, so I really wouldn't expect it to be there. But what you can see here is some pretty decent implementation of the screens. The MCP looks pretty accurate. The overhead itself, we go to that position there, you can see the overhead. All the important stuff is working, like the lights and that kind of thing. One of the things that isn't working, the cabin chime. Honestly, I almost uninstalled the whole thing. The cabin chime is not working. Most important thing. Window heats, these work, the de-icing works up here. The cargo stuff and the air conditioning stuff is primarily in-op by the look of it. So none of that's more advanced stuff anyway. Not for your average flyer, I don't think. So, what are we going to do? We are going to program in some stuff. So down on the touchpad here, we're going to go to initiate our route, LFMN. There we go, take that position, stick it in the IRS, go to the route. So we're taking off out of LFMN. This won't take very long at all, by the way. I'm just going to skim through this. LFMN is where we're going to go. And we're actually going to fly to a waypoint. Which way should we do this? Let's go to the Perfinite page first. Select that. And then we'll go to departure arrival. We'll select the arrival. Go down to ILS 04 right. And we shall choose the... it's called the Merlu 6 Charlie arrival. And what that should do is it should give us a waypoint anyway. We'll have a look in a second, but it should give us a waypoint that we can use, or route in that we can use. It make life a little bit easier. So activate that, exec. And if we come to, let's try and zoom out a second, this screen here, that'll do. We can press the ECAS button and we can switch that over to here, and then we can zoom out you'll kind of get a feel for what it's done. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to right turn out of 04 and just put a heading hold, and we're not going to go to Merlu. Like I say, this is just to give us a course vector in, really. I'm going to basically turn right, and then we're going to vector ourselves back in, pick up the localizer, pick up the glide slope, hopefully, and land ourselves into 04 right. In terms of what's available on the screen here, well, a lot of stuff is disabled at the moment. It just doesn't do anything. It's just in-op. The main thing is that the fuel displays. There's also a plan mode over here, so you can switch between map and plan. You can flick that back. Then you've got map and plan over here. Like I say, and then the zoom works on it. And then down here, this is the main engine display. There was a button that you can press here, which brings in extra information about the engines. And this is where you can see the trim, the rudder trim, and some other bits and pieces, where the gear's down, that kind of thing. The flap settings will enunciate there. Yeah, it's pretty decent, does what it does. So let's go back down to here. We've punched all of that in. So I'll go to the legs page. You can see it's got Merlu. Go to the NavRad page, and it's automatically populated ILS 04 right on 110.7, which is great. The only thing we need to do is punch in the course, which is 041 degrees, so that the localizer can pick it up. And that should be more or less that. Very, very simple flight plan. So the rest of it is going to be, obviously, so just get myself back into the default camera. There we go. The rest of it is going to be set up the NCP, get a pushback, get the engines fired up. I know you want to listen to the engines. That will come very, very shortly. So what we'll do is we'll set ourselves up for just 4,000 altitude. We'll be fine. We can switch now to hectopascals. Yay! Hectopascals, lovely. We can do that. We can even put the terrain on. We'll do that, if I remember, when we're in the air. What else have we got? So we'll have an initial speed of 200. We'll probably just use... the LNAV and VNAV stuff does work. It does climb a little bit aggressively still, I think. But, oh, come on. 41 degrees, which is the runway heading out of here. So put that back on the map, and you should see that. Can I zoom that out? No, maybe. Can't see it yet. 041 is yeah, it'll be fine. I'm going to climb out on runway heading, then I'll put it into heading home mode, put the autopilot in, and we'll just climb up to 4,000 and then start vectoring ourselves around. Okay, so we shall begin preparations here. We'll put the auto brake onto RTO. Actually, what I should do is probably just fire up the engines first, to be fair. So let's go to the overhead, and let's put the let's see, beacon light can go on. And let's get ourselves in a nice position to listen to this. So we'll get down here. I won't bother with the ground crew apart from the pushback. I'd rather focus on the aircraft itself in this kind of initial video. There you go. So we'll use that as our starting point. So how do we fire up the engines? Well, first thing we'll do is put all the pumps on. I learned from my mistake if you saw a previous video. I forgot to put the pumps on. So let's do right engine to start, and we then come down to here, and we should see some N1 rotations to start picking up. And then we basically throw in some fuel. There you go, 18%. So N1's picking up. And then jump down here, chuck in some fuel. And I'll shut up for a second. Not bad at all, eh? When was the last time you bought a default aircraft? It sounds like that. Pretty good. Okay, so that's one engine started. Start the left engine exactly the same way. If you like, we can stay inside, listen to the engine start. Although with this air conditioning, I doubt we'll hear it anyway. Just watching the rotation coming up. Can't resist, want to listen to it again. Dude, you suggest you move. That guy. Very nice. I think that guy probably singed his hair a little bit doing that. God, this thing looks just magnificent, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to the overhead. So now we've got everything fired up. None of the lights are on, which means we can turn the APU off now. And it can run on engine power. We shall stick on our nav lights and taxi lights, and what we shall do is we'll get a pushback from the boys out here. So we'll tune in to ground services, needs ground, request pushback, and what we'll do is we'll push ourselves back and, well, to the left, even though it's to the right. It might be better if this thing said clockwise and anti-clockwise. I think that'd make more sense. Okay, I will need to release the parking brake. Otherwise he's going to struggle. And we'll let him push back straight for a minute and then we'll turn it to the left. There he goes. When you use the thrust from inside the cockpit, it does sound nice. Maybe I pushed it back a little bit too far. Oh well, never mind. Okay, I should think that will do. Watch how aggressively he stops. Oof. Parking brake is set. Got to sort these camera views out because it's a complete new install from the kind of preview build I had. Everything, and I mean everything, has gone. All my settings, all my mappings. I've had to start again. Right, so we'll arm the speed brake. We shall set 10 degrees of flaps. If I remember, that's what it is in the performance page. Or is it? Thrust limiter. There you go. So you can set, actually it's saying 10 degrees of flaps. Yeah, 10 degrees of flaps. You can actually choose different climb out profiles. I don't know how well they work, of course, but you can choose them. There was another page where we set the trying to think, where we set the cruise profile, the climb profile, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be using VNAV anyway, so we can probably just ignore that. It's just what exact page it was on. Oh, there it is, cruise altitude. Yeah, so what I would do here is put 60 like that if I wanted the VNAV to work properly, but yeah, we don't really care because we're just going to do it manually anyway. Right, let's see. So we'll put the flight directors on. Incidentally, you can't arm both, like they literally both go on together. We're not going to arm the LNAV or the VNAV, so we'll leave that. I don't know if you can arm the V-speed mode from the ground. Looks like you can, actually. Interesting. Okay, that's it. So let's go and taxi. Now, in terms of taxiing, what you can do is you can put this, switch that over to here, and then you can zoom this thing out, put it in plan mode a second. Is it plan mode? You can get the entire runway over here so that you can zoom in on it. Just can't remember how you do it now. Dang it. I did have it working. What was it? That's just, that was it. There you go. It's on this one. Yeah. Don't know how you zoom that one on the right, actually. Not really that familiar with the Dreamliner. So, yeah, if you zoom out here, you can see we're going to go over to here 04 right. So we're going to taxi straight across 04 left. So it's more or less straight out down that way. But I do like this about the Dreamliner. Is it basically comes with a free planner, if you like. Let's hope this ground crew get out of the way. Oh, she's a big bird. She really is. You don't realise how big these things are till you're in one, you're next to something like an A320. It just makes it look tiny. Right, so we want to turn right down here, I believe. Actually, doesn't matter. I could have gone straight over there. It's no biggie. We'll go this way. Probably makes more sense anyway. That's the external camera view. See, like, look at the side. Look at this. The wing on this is massive. Oh, incidentally, I was going to show you something actually. Let me stop here a second. Just want to show you what stuff looks like. Let's put the parking brake on 1 second. So, just have a look at the rear section. So here's the elevator, right? And there's the rudder, the huge rudder that this is. But then the ailerons are quite interesting. I don't know if you've ever seen a Dreamliner ailerons before, but they're kind of asymmetric. If you look at the one on the right compared to the one on the left, it's not like the same pieces move, like they're completely different pieces, which is kind of cool. It's not like one aileron, like this aileron on the very left here. Let's move over a second. This bit moves either up or down, but everything inward is just completely different. It's cool. Anyway, thought you'd like to see that. Let me turn the brakes off. This thing's going to be so much fun to fly. It's about as modern as the modern cockpit gets, this one. Oh, it doesn't want to turn. Bit of left toe brake to kick it around. Okay, we're crossing over 04 left. You can actually see the wing flexing at the moment, by the way. When we go over different bumps, I'll try and go over some bumps at a little bit of speed so you can see what I mean. But you can actually see the wing flexing. You don't want to turn, do you? I should have gone for the other taxi one. There, see that? It's the wing flex then. There you go. And that operates properly in the air as well when we go through wind and stuff. Okay, so let's get some lights on here. So we'll get our landing lights on. Did I thought I put the taxi lights on. Oh well, apparently I didn't. Everything looks good. Okay. Let's taxi out. Oh, this does not want to turn. Yeah, without differential toe braking, that would be not really turning at all. Look at that flex. That's so cool. Okay, let's do some final checks and get going. Rightio, so we're going to put auto brake into RTO. We're going to arm the spoilers. We're going to check the flaps are in 10 degrees, which they are. We're going to flick that back so I can see that the flaps are in position 10 there. And I'm just going to bring the nose forward a couple of degrees. I haven't got any way of calculating this, so normally I just go with a little bit of nose forward. It's in 9.1, reckon a little bit more. Okay. I haven't played with all this stuff, by the way. Some of it is clickable. It just seems to do stuff, but I haven't played with any of it. It says I haven't played with any of this stuff at all. Don't know what detail there is there. Right then, I think we are ready to punch it. So, Toga is armed, nothing else is armed. We're just going to be flying runway heading. Can we turn on heading select at this point? I don't think we can. Okay, let's get out of here. knots. The nose is coming up already. Should have pushed some more trim forward. Positive right. Gears coming up. And we are up. Okay, heading select is armed. Turn it to the right. And we'll arm the autopilot. There we go. Wait, I swore I pressed the gear. 1 second. I definitely pressed the gear button. I don't know why the gear didn't come up. Wait, it's still not coming up. Interesting. Why is the landing gear not coming up? I have no idea what's going on with that one. The landing gear used to come up, but it appears to be a little bit in-up at the moment. Okay, not to worry. I guess we're flying with the gear down. Doesn't make too much difference for now. We just bring the flaps up. What the heck? Oh, now it's gone up. I have no idea what just happened. Something just kicked it into life. And then all of a sudden it went from RTO off to gear up and it's fine again. How very strange. I think I might have found a bug, I'm not sure. Okay, let me zoom out the map a second, swap that over. And we can see what's going on. There you go. Right. Okay, let's bring the speed up. We're approaching 4,000 feet. I really don't know what that was then. I can't work out if it's something I just did wrong. Or not. 230 knots. That was a bit of an aggressive accelerate. Right, so yeah, we're going to basically cruising around here and then shooting around for the approach there. That's the plan. No, that's the wrong one. I want this one. There you go. So we'll basically vector ourselves around for an intercept. While we're here, let's have a look at this thing of beauty. I wonder if we can actually get to see the wing flex in action here. Depends. I think there's a bit of wind, but not a lot. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see it flexing there. Look. That is so cool. So, yeah, I don't know. For a default aircraft, I mean, obviously I think I may have found a bug unless something weird happened. But for a default aircraft, this thing is doing pretty well, I'd say. It's pretty well spec'd for something that comes for free. So, LFMN is there in the background. We just need to get ourselves vectored around. Just flying a large circuit, basically. And 4,000 feet should be the intercept for the ILS. Everything's set up already, we don't need to do very much. So I'll just jump forward and we'll pick it up on the approach. So here we are, about to turn right onto the kind of final approach. I can turn that in. You can actually adjust the bank angle with this option here, so you can restrict how much it turns, which is kind of cool. So we'll turn that in. Maximum bank angle like that, and we should hopefully be able to intercept the localizer. So turn in. Okay, so if we arm the localizer now, it should pick it up. As it comes around, just reset the drone camera a second. There you go. Dead ahead is where we're going. So it's found the localizer, as you can see. We're at 4,000 feet. Seems to be drifting off ever so slightly, but it's definitely enunciated localizer. We'll basically arm the approach now, which is now glide slope in white. And we'll just wait for the glide slope to come into view. Which hopefully it will pick up on. "4,000 feet is supposed to be the intercept, and it's not showing me a diamond yet though. But it is actually caught the glide slope, there it goes, so we'll basically bring in our first stage of flaps. We're still at 220 knots. Bring in flaps 5, we'll actually flick that back now. So I can see the flaps properly, we can have this over here. So we'll know what we're doing. Let's bring the speed back. It's a below flaps 5 speed. And we shall... Actually, should we have a look at the gear? coming down. Let's have a look at that. Hopefully the gear will actually come down. There you go. There's the gear coming down. Look at the reflections as well. Even the reflections are accurate. It's so good. So with that, we shall reduce speed now. To 180. And we'll go flaps 10. So we want to put the auto brake onto, we'll put it on position 3, but I think 2 will be absolutely fine. We'll arm the spoiler. Spoilers are armed. Flaps are good. It seems to be left of the glide slope to me. There should be diamonds here as well. I'm surprised I'm not showing them. But it's definitely left of the runway. It seems to be aiming for like here to me, not quite on the runway path. Let's bring the speed right down now. I'm going to disable the autopilot shortly and just manually land it. And there's 4 flaps coming in. Okay. Autopilot and auto throttle. And I'm going to try and maneuver her over. Annoyingly, I haven't actually got the glide slope to follow down. Gotta use the throttle to try and keep the speed at about 155. Can't promise this is going to be a smooth touchdown, by the way. I'm just going to try and get it down.
500.
Maybe in the center line if we're really, really lucky.
400.
Definitely feel like the pitch trim is off.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Come on, down you go. And reverses, decel. We didn't die. It's all good. Okay. Welcome back to Nice Airport. See if we can taxi this thing back. Right, we need to clean up a little bit. Get all the flaps cleaned up. Flight directors can come off. Landing lights come off. Taxi light can come on. Beacon, strobe can go off. And let's see if we can swap that over. Just going to swap that over and actually zoom in. There we go. Why don't you want to move all of a sudden? Parking brake is off. Okay, that was slightly weird. Didn't want to move. Reset the parking brake and it's fine. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We'll just taxi back using this routing here. This is so handy. See if we can find our way back to one of the major gates. Actually, I wonder if we can. I wonder if we can request. Let's have a listen. See if it will give us a request pushback now. Takeoff options. Nope. I think it still thinks we're taking off. We'll just go and find ourselves a space over here. Nice has done pretty well. I've been here a couple of times. It's a very nice approach, actually, Nice. If you get the right runway. The best thing to do is look up where it's actually flying into. 1 second. Let me just get the drone camera sorted. Have a look which runway you're going to be landing on based on the winds before you fly, and pick the seat for the most likely approach. If you can get 04 coming in, you're on the left side. It's really good. I think we started over here, didn't we? Just over there somewhere. Yeah, we'll taxi back over there, I think. Do you know what? The amount of ground crew that still drives around on taxiways. Look at this guy. Dude. I can't avoid him and the plane. Look at the size of the car compared to the size of the engine. Like, that entire van will basically fit inside the engine. Alright, bro. Man, this thing's so nice. I think we started over here somewhere. It doesn't really matter. We'll just drop it here for now. In fact, I think there's the baggage crew. Okay, we'll just stick it there. That'll do. Right, I'll tell you what we should have done. Something you should always do when you land. And that is fire up the APU in preparation for the fact that when you want to shut your engines off, you're going to need some power. I'll wait for the APU to start. We'll have a quick look around. So the diamonds, I did one quick flight on it, and I saw the ILS diamonds. They're definitely there. And as for what happened with the gear up, I can only imagine it's because I didn't enable LNAV or VNAV, so I don't know if that's a feature or a problem that we just found. But either way, it should have worked. The gear got stuck, which is a bit odd. Probably just some bug that needs sorting out. Let's see, have we got anything available yet? Turn off the left engine. Did I leave those on? Okay, it looks like we should be fine anyway. Sounds so good. I mean, these are so good. Imagine what, like, premium aircraft are going to be like on this sim. Oh. Anyway, guys, that was obviously a very quick video, just to basically show you the brand new Dreamliner. Subscribe for more content if you want to see more flight sim. Subscribe for more content, because I am making much more content on this sim. And give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. So the next video, guys, take it easy. Happy flying.